Okay, so there's a lot to talk about today. We have a positive catalyst for the stock market in 2023. We have Ross Gerber trying to get a 5-minute with Elon and a board seat on the board of directors of Tesla. Palantir with a huge client, and also Jim Cramer with some insane predictions, and Coinbase firing 20% of their employees, and a huge warning about that you absolutely have to hear. A lot to cover this video, so let's skip the intro. Let's get straight into it. So first of all, we have to talk about Ross Gerber. Oh my goodness. So Ross Gerber is literally begging on social media, like, the kids who beg for a 5-minute with the Gary Vee. He's literally begging for a 5-minute meeting with Elon. He's basically saying the survival of Tesla, no less, is dependent on me getting a 5-minute with Elon. Now look, all I gotta say about it is, first of all, whether you like Ross Gerber or you don't like Ross Gerber, I'm personally part of the second group. I mean, if the guy has $100 million with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk would not take a 5-minute meeting with him, and he has to beg on social media for 5 minutes with Elon Musk, what does it say about him? Dude, if you gave this dude $100 million and he won't take your meeting, how low of an opinion does he have of you? Oh my God. The worst part of this all is if your survival, as Ross Gerber claims, is dependent on Ross Gerber, whether you're a human being, a giraffe, an alien, or a company, then you're pretty much screwed, my guy. That's the end of it. Now, the other thing Ross Gerber is trying to promote is himself as a board of directors member of Tesla, which I found absolutely hilarious. In fact, I'm seeing Tesla bears in shorts basically cracking jokes on social media how they would actively promote his nomination for the board of directors. That's their wet dream, having Ross Gerber as a director of Tesla. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I mean, we've seen stranger things in the past few years, so who knows? Now, the second item I just want to mention briefly today is Palantir are actually working with Cloudflare. Cloudflare seems to be like the newest client of Palantir, massive cybersecurity client, but as you know, whenever Palantir gets a new client, especially like a blue chip like Cloudflare, what happens? The stock price drops. So I'm assuming with this new client announcement, the stock price is going to drop today probably like 18%. So who knows? Now, on more serious things, I've been on and off with Tesla haters and Tesla bears on Twitter following my latest video. The video was titled, Tesla Bears Will Absolutely Hate This Video. I'm going to put it right here for you to go to check it out. I made a video explaining why Tesla bears are wrong about Tesla, and social media is always the place where people come to scream into the void. People with like 5 followers tweeting about things nobody reads. So basically, a lot of experts on social media explain to me why I'm wrong and why Tesla is the worst company ever, Elon Musk is the worst human being ever, why he's the worst CEO ever, but how I'm clueless, etc., etc. So look, all I gotta say to you guys is one simple thing. Look, if you're a so-called expert, and there's a lot of experts on social media, believe it or not, there's brain surgeons, astronauts, like a lot of financial experts, like Jesus, everybody works for McKinsey, or you know what I mean. So basically, here's what I gotta say to you. Look, you can hate us all you want, but here's the problem. You're missing one critical point. If you're calling Tesla a Ponzi scheme or an elaborate scam or an overvalued car company, here's the problem with that argument. You're looking at a company that just sold 1.3 million cars in a recession year when the entire market was down big. They have 28% gross margin, which is literally double than Toyota's, which is the best margin in the business, and triple than Ford and GM. They're generating $22 billion in EBITDA. They have zero debt, and they just increased sales by 44% of new cars over the past year when the entire market went down by 8%. So it's a little bit of a problematic argument. The problem with these Tesla haters is because I think a lot of them, it's about ego. They got it wrong, and they just can't give it up. The second group is people who are, they're the quintessential idiots. In every society, in every group of friends, there's always the guy who is probably the stupidest of the group, but he's sure that he's always the smartest in the room. So these kind of the people I have to deal with social media. So, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, it's just kind of funny to me that they still think that, Tesla is a bad company. And at this point, I want to talk about Coinbase. They're laying off 20% of their employees. Obviously, the company have ballooned beyond any proportion, but here's what I got to say about this. If you think that all these layoffs you're hearing about Amazon, Coinbase, and everything, that's not going to roll over to normal jobs, you're wrong. Tech always comes first. The cream is always the first. Then you go into the meat and potatoes of it. So if you think that this is just an isolated tech thing, this is just the beginning. And whenever you hear the media explains that everything is fine and the job market is amazing, remember, Coinbase, Amazon, Facebook, all these companies, this is just the start. Now, talking about some bad times before we hit the Cramer stuff. Look, Jerome Powell will be speaking today. I don't care what he's going to say. I mean, I know what he's going to say. More pain ahead. We're focused on inflation, blah, 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 blah. Remember, This is the guy who screwed up twice. So he made the two mistakes, basically helping two administrations print money and then ignoring it for a whole year. And now he is going to cause you to pay for his mistakes because he got to keep his job. But when he raises interest rates and people start losing homes and jobs, he's not going to pay nothing for it. He's going to keep his Hamptons home and his nice little circle of friends. You know what I mean. Now, look, a quick word of advice. If you have credit card debt, this would be a good time to get rid of it. Half of America is living in a credit card debt situation. That's not healthy, especially not now. The average rate right now in the U.S. for a credit card is 23%. On a 5-year rollover of $5,000, you're going to be owing $12,500. Don't forget that number. 5 becomes 12.5 in just 5 years. You can get rid of your debt as much as you can. It's a must right now. As it stands right now, we're at a 40-year high. 40-year high of credit card debt. All-time high for auto loans debt. This is as much as we've been in debt as a society as ever. It's not a good time to be part of the group. Be smart. Eliminate your debt before interest rates go up even higher. Moving on to Jim Cramer, the cherry on top of this whole thing. Look, Jim Cramer is now saying, do not bet on tech. It's a bad idea to do it right now. In my opinion, this is the best thing that could have happened to the stock market. We waited for a catalyst. We couldn't find a catalyst anywhere. The war in Ukraine still goes on. Inflation is still 7%. Powell doesn't have the slightest idea what the hell he's doing. This administration is a dumpster fire. Biden doesn't remember his own name. Gas prices, layoffs, absolute chaos, prices going up, cost of living, real estate market is crashing. Blackstone is in the redemption cap. Like everything that's possibly could go wrong is going wrong right now. It's absolute chaos. But finally, we're bailed out by Jim Cramer. When Jim Cramer tells you, do not bet on tech stocks, do not bet on growth stocks, that means that we've hit bottom, boys. Rock and roll. What the fuck? Soothe the soul. It's not the days of old. Old time rock and roll.